Hi, welcome everybody. My name is Chrissy and today I'm going to give you a prediction reading for the 18th of March. Now, I do regular readings just to keep up to date with the current energy, so I'm just going to close my eyes and I'll let my guides channel through to you and we'll just see what messages come up. Now, I'm getting that there's an enormous amount of imploding. So when they say imploding, that kind of means exploding within. So that's the vision that they're giving me. And now this is around a lot of people. So people are exploding within. Now, I'm hoping that's not around the jab, because I think we know there's been a lot of things going on in relation to the jab that are still being swept under the carpet. But there's this imploding within. And it could also be, wow, sun's breaking out, it's so strong here. It could also be around these soul breakdowns, and I've been talking about that for a number of weeks now, that people are having their soul breakdowns and they're having to start to find their way forward and how to work through their old emotions and feelings and hurts and things that they might have suppressed from the past. That's something as well. But I'm definitely getting that imploding, and you know, that could mean a couple of things. Like I said, hopefully it's not around the jab and that things are affecting people inside their bodies. A lot of people certainly have had some adverse side effects and reactions, and there's certainly been a lot of strange things going on with the number of heart attacks in just here in Australia. I don't know what is happening over in your countries. Maybe comment down below and let me know what kind of things you're experiencing. I'm just going to move my cup of tea. There's a bug about to crawl in it. So I'm definitely getting that imploding within. Now, I'm getting that the mandates have been a disgrace. So forcing people to get the jab to keep their job is a disgrace, and it's something that people are tired of living with these mandates, and that's why people are stepping up now. That's why people are pushing back. That's why there's this fight and these movements, because people don't want mandates moving forward. They don't want to be mandated for everything that comes along. You got to get this, you got to get that, you got to get this, you got to get that. People are starting to question the continuous amount of jabs of the Kool-Aid that they're now being dictated to, because I don't think people had their mind around that. They thought, well, we'll get the 2 jabs, maybe a booster if this thing's still rolling on, and they were okay with that. But now there's too many question marks that are coming up, because when you're talking 4th and maybe 5th jabs and all this, it's just going on, and now they're saying that, well, I don't know what they're saying in your country, but here in Australia, they're certainly saying, you know, it'll become just like the flu jab. You get your jab every year, and I don't know how that's going to work, because they actually talk about that the jabs, the protection of the jabs wanes in a 12-week period, so that actually ends up being quite a few jabs during the year. So this is what people's minds are on now. They're at this crossroads, and I really believe that they're at the crossroads now of, do I keep going on this path, or do I take that path? And this is what I'm saying about yesterday. I was talking about the Titanic and people jumping on the end of that ship and trying to tip it. This is that tipping point where people are starting to wake up, and they're starting to realize that this could be a toxic path that they might be following, because a lot of information's coming out. There's a lot of this the Pfizer data has been released, and this is starting to scare people, and this is why people are like imploding. They're getting a lot of this emotional turmoil inside, and it's really kind of knotting them up internally and making them feel quite worried and quite ill. And I did talk about that. If you've put something in your body and you're not sure of what it is, you're starting to get worried about what the hell you've put inside of you. So these are the kind of current energies that I'm getting. There's definitely this internal imploding, and that's around like sort of anxiety as well. That's not just around the souls and, you know, hopefully no side effects, but it's also about people's anxieties are starting to build, and they're starting to get really worried, and that's something that I'm definitely getting. So they're the ones that are now at the crossroad. Do I continue on that path getting the jabs, or do I hop off now and just stay where I am in the current sort of situation? But again, they're still faced with this decision making of losing their jobs, losing their livelihoods, not being able to go here and there, having no freedom. Again, it's coming back to the passports, and they're going to come, you know, again. We know that's going to happen. So this is what's on people's minds. But if I don't continue to get jabs, how am I going to keep my freedom? And that is how they coerced a lot of people. So you've got to remember that too. That a lot of people were forced and coerced to get these jabs. They're not something that people sort of put their hand up and voluntarily said, oh yeah, let's go. Let's just, I'll get this for my health, because I think we can pretty much say only a third of people really probably got it for their health. And that's a message I always get for Canada, and I'm sure in New Zealand and all these other countries, Germany, Austria, you name it, Sweden, they've all been sort of mandated and forced to get the jab in order to move around. So that's what we've got to remember. These people are now at that crossroads, and I said this would happen. For the people that are unjabbed, they're staying in their position now. They know where they're at. They're rock solid. And that's where they're staying. They know what they can do. They know how they can navigate around this. But now we've got the next group of people, who I call the sort of mid-awakening people, who are now scared, they're frightened, they're unsure, they're uncertain, and they're not sure what direction to go. And that's why they're at the crossroads, because now they've got to make a decision. Do I keep going, or do I get off now? So that's something that's really strong in the energy at the moment, is that big crossroads and that big decision for some people to make who have been coerced or mandated with the jabs. That's very strong at the moment. Now, they're showing me a stove, and they're showing me like a big cooking pot on the stove. So this cooking pot is getting all ingredients put in it. So there's a little bit of this, and there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of this sauce, and there's a little bit of salt, and there's a little bit of pepper, and there's a little bit of flavouring. So this is about creating. So it's almost showing me the cooking analogy, because it's like you're creating your life. So you put into it the ingredients that you want to enjoy. So this is where they're showing me the pot. This is about you putting your recipe together and creating the life that you want now. So, it might be that you've got to factor in some of your family and people around you as well, but this is about putting in the ingredients that are gonna make you happy inside. So it might just simply be that you do simplify your life, and you reduce a lot of your friends, or you have a lot of things at home. You might have more barbecues, you might have more gatherings, and you might do these things at home. You might build sort of structurally improve your home so that it's more of a place that you want to spend time. So these are the things that are kind of going into this cooking pot. Is you need to like look at maybe renovating, look at doing that extension, look at inviting those small amount of friends around. I know that sounds crazy, but a lot of us have got a reduced number of friends. Having some family around, going out in nature, doing those things, trying to get those simple things back. This is what the cooking pot is. Put into your life what you want to get out of it, because you're putting your energies and you're manifesting the things in your life now that are going to stay here for quite a long time. So once that's cooked, then you take it out of the oven or off the stove, and you can pretty much eat that, and that can be consumed by you. So this is what I'm saying. You've got to put in the ingredients that are gonna make you happy. That's whether you're eating really well literally, or you're taking up some new project you've always wanted to do, whether you're painting, whether you're exercising, you might go for horse rides. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Look at me, I'm sitting out here, my dogs have got a bone. As you know, I spend a lot of time with my doggos. They've got a bone, they're happy. I'm about to go and mow their lawn in a minute because it's actually dried out. We had a big heavy dew here this morning. So this is what it is. I love walking my dogs. I love spending time with my dogs. These are the things that are gonna actually start to fill up your pot. So, I guess you could sort of always also put it down to the analogy of sort of the witch's cauldron. Put your ingredients in, one rat's tail, one this, one that, and make it a great happy spell. That's kind of what they're saying to me. Put your energy onto the things that are gonna make you feel fulfilled, and you'll get that good outcome. That's why they're showing me that kind of cooking and like the cauldron and the witches mixing up their brews, and then you get those good results. You certainly get black and white witches, you can get those as well, but this is saying it in a very positive light, that put in those ingredients and get the results that you're wanting to out of life. And for anyone who is watching this, who is at a crossroads, or who has a lot of doubt around what to do next, just ground yourself and say, how do I see my life moving forward? Now, I know that's not easy to do. When you've been dictated to for 2 years, it's very hard to get your mind clear to create the path that you want to stay on, because you feel like it could just be ripped away from you at any minute. We could be locked down, we could be put back in masks, we could be QR coded again. And we all know that. That's the reality around the globe. We've all experienced that. But this is why I talked yesterday with that Titanic. The window of opportunity is open now, and this is the tipping point for us to move forward in the lives that we want to have. We don't have to stand there and be dictated to by 5 people, these elite people up here who are making all the decisions for the rest of the globe. It's just illogical. Whereas the masses, we can stand together and we can fight and unite these things. And that's about finding that inner strength in you and being around, I always say it, that support and the people that are gonna help prop you up. We don't want to be downtrodden and hidden away in our society and feeling like we have no voice. Find your voice. Stand up for your human rights. This is the time, and the window is open. The guides have told us we have to start and stay strong right now in this moment. And that's how we start to get our lives back. We may never have the life we had before, and I've already said that. Things are different. I think we know the digital age is coming, and that's something that we can't avoid. It's already rolled out. God, they've been doing that for 2 years. If anyone's had their eyes shut and not seen that, I think, gosh, it's just nuts. The QR codes are already done. Everything's on digital now. Everything's a QR code pretty much in society, isn't it? Everything's on your phone. Where would you be if your phone ran out of charge? So, you know, this is what we've got to look at. What do you want moving forward? Start to think about that, the ingredients that you want in your life. How do you want to feel? What makes you happy? What things can you do and implement into your life even today in the next half an hour that can distract your mind and get you onto a happier sort of feeling and emotion. And in a lot of my self-help videos, if anybody has watched them, I talk an enormous amount, I know, about finding your passions and your creativities. And I really believe for anyone out there who is suffering depression or feeling isolated and lonely and hurt, when your mind is distracted, it stops you worrying and it stops you thinking about other things. And that's why I focus on it so much. Because if you can do something you're really passionate about, for example, mine is gardening. Some people, it might be playing golf or playing tennis, or it doesn't matter what your passion is. Gosh, some people tinker away under the bonnet of a car. That could be your passion. But when you're doing something, it distracts your mind. And that's why exercise is so brilliant and always highly recommended for anyone who's feeling really down. Because exercise gets your mind off things and it pumps endorphins as well to your brain. So it's like that real win-win situation, because you're getting great results and you're feeling stronger and feeling better. So these are the things you've got to try and put into your cooking pot now. Your passions, your creativities. Get back to the things that made you feel good. Think over your lifetime and think, wow, what really makes me feel good? When I was a kid, what made me feel good? Mine personally, another one was rescue dogs. I loved dogs. So I went out, and when I was feeling really down a few years ago, and I got myself a couple of rescue dogs, brother and sister. God, I love them. They helped me. You know, I helped them. We've worked together as a team. And these are the things. That was my passion as a child. I always had dogs, and I was always in their kennels or cuddling up with them, and they always made me feel safe and secure. This is what you've got to look for. Look for the things over your life that have made you feel fulfilled. What makes you feel whole? What makes you feel like you have purpose? Start to ask yourself these questions, and that's what the guides are saying. This is how we heal ourselves. And like I said, anyone at that crossroads who can't decide which direction to take, just slow your mind down, get your thoughts really clear, do a bit of like sitting out in nature, meditating, do whatever you can to start to get that realistic perspective. And look, the first tip I'll always tell anyone, as most of my subscribers know out there, turn off mainstream media, because you are being fed a whole different story to the truth that is actually going on out there, and that's something to be really aware of. Just get off mainstream media. And look, to all my people, just stay strong out there in the corner, the people rather that are have made their decision. You know who you are, and stay strong in your beliefs, because this is an awakening, and this is a test. This, to me, is a soul test of who's awake, who's asleep, who's going to wake up, and we're at this pivotal point where things are starting to shift. So that's something just to be really aware of. I'll just see if anything else comes up today. So I'm getting, don't be a glutton for punishment. So what the guides are saying is, don't keep going back for more and more and more. If someone's at you and they're trying to bombard you and put that fear in you and try to ostracize, vilify, whatever they're trying to do, don't go back again and repeat that cycle. There's no point to that. It's just going round and round and round, and that just zaps your energy. So what they're trying to do, they're trying to pull you into the bucket. It's the crab in the bucket. When the crabs are trying to crawl out of the bucket, that's what it is. They'll grab your leg and try and pull you back down to their sort of energy level. So don't let that happen. Don't be that glutton for punishment that just keeps getting more and more. If your family's at you, just detach yourself and stay strong in your own beliefs and what you're thinking and what you believe in, because that's what's going to get you through this journey, and that's what's going to help you to get those clearer decisions, is if you can just slow down your mind, unclutter your mind, and that's learning about living in the now. It's another video that I've got a lot of videos on how to learn to live in the now moment, because the now moment is something that will help to really clear your mind. If you can focus here and now, like look at a tree, look at the grass, look up at the blue sky. Very simple things, but these are the ways that you bring your mind back into this moment, and you're not worrying about the future and how's this all going to go, and worrying about the past and this person said that and it hurt me. And when you're in the now moment, you're here, you're now. Like I'm here talking to you guys and I'm nowhere else. There's a butterfly flying past that I'm admiring, but I'm right here. I can hear the birds, my dogs are happy. I'm here, I'm nowhere else. I'm not living in what happened to me last week, and I'm not living in where I'm heading, and oh my gosh, what if this reset happens? And you know, yes, I do predictions, I know that, but I'm not worrying about them because I can't control that here and now. It may play out and it may not play out. It depends on what a lot of people out there choose to do, and we all have our own journey. So I guess we've just got to kind of let things unfold a little bit too, as much as we can get some guidance and some help and some predictions on you know, what's coming in the future and how to move forward and how to navigate these things. It's very important that you practice learning to live in that now moment. And look, I have talked about Eckhart Tolle before. Most of you who are awake have probably heard of Eckhart Tolle. He's absolutely brilliant at teaching you to live in the now moment. I suggest that you go and check him out. And that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it today. Start learning to live in that now moment, because that is going to change your life. It changed my life forever when I taught myself to do that, and I learned how to do meditations, because life can become so consuming that you can, you know, be taken down some really dark roads sometimes, and you can become depressed, you can become fearful, your anxieties will come up, which is no good for anyone to be living in that kind of state where you're not relaxed and your mind isn't clear. So that's my tip for today. Just learn to live in that now moment, and that's the message from the guides coming through. So look, thanks for watching today. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notifications, and then you'll know when I pop up. Hit those like buttons, because that's how we keep these messages going around. And thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I love your comments down below. I love chatting to you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye from Australia. Take care, everyone.